Welcome everyone to the Zalon. I'm thrilled to present this program from Auvillar, one of the most beautiful villages in France, dating back to the 10th century with a long history of arts. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce you to my good friend and a longtime member of the Salon team, Michael Schweisheimer. Michael is a skilled video and audio engineer and founder of PWP Video. He's generously agreed to act as a backup MC tonight in case of internet interference. So if I should suddenly disappear, Michael is ready to jump in and take my place. Thank you so much for being on hand, Michael. Would you like to say a quick hello to the audience?
I would just like to say that hopefully this is the only time you see me tonight and that everything works out and that your internet holds up very well. So go internet. Thanks.
That's great. Thank you, Michael. And now a few words about the salon for those of you who are new. It feels appropriate to be hosting a salon from France. In my late teens, I found myself interested in the history of music salons. Early salons were literary events that flourished in Italy and France in the 17th and 18th centuries, taking their names from the room in which the gatherings were held. The cabinet, ruelle, roudoir, and the salon was the French parlor. In the 19th century, these salons included more musicians and artists. Gertrude Stein started her famous salon on the Rue de Fleurus, or the Street of Flowers, in Paris in 1910. And she and her partner, Alice Toklas, invited artists, writers, and composers to join. Henri Matisse, Picasso, Ezra Pound, and Ernest Hemingway frequented her salon. At age 26, I started my own. The idea was to feature not only classical chamber music, but also jazz, world music, contemporary music, electronics, folk, opera, multimedia, and dance. 10 ensembles, 10 minutes each. During the pandemic, the online version, the Zalon, a Zoom salon, was born. Although most of my salons now are hybrids with audiences and performers both in Philadelphia and remote, tonight's Zalon is taking place entirely on the virtual stage. I discovered that during the pandemic, the vital connection between the live performers and live audience is palpable, even through the screen, and helped many feel more connected during the isolated times in our homes. Now the salon has expanded to include a beautiful and international community. During these 36 years, there have been well over 9,000 artists and over 19,000 audience members gracing my living room, and now the virtual stage. I extend my warmest welcome to those of you joining for the very first time. In our busy lives, how often are we offered the gift of time to drop in, to exhale, to get quiet, and to listen? There may be sounds that are familiar and some that are new. Enjoy this time of being receptive and observe what resonates with you. At the end, you may engage with the artists during an informal conversation about their work. We love showing appreciation to these wonderful performers. You may unmute and clap at the end of each set. I'll offer a brief introduction to the performers, and I highly encourage you to read more about them on our program page. That link will be posted periodically in the chat. Please consider donating to support the performers. Many artists have lost work from the pandemic, and every little bit helps. You can make a simple tax-deductible donation through our fiscal sponsor, Crossroads Music. That link is in the chat and on the zalonarts.org website. My team and I are happy to volunteer. I'd like to thank Directrice Extraordinaire Cheryl Fortier and VCCA for awarding me this fellowship and allowing me to host the salon from here. The Virginia Center for the Creative Arts provides uninterrupted time and space for writers, visual artists, and composers to create. VCCA hosts over 400 fellows yearly at 2 locations, in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains in Amherst, Virginia, and here at the Moulin à Nef in Auvillar, France. These residencies are so important as sanctuaries for artists to focus on their work. To learn more or to apply, visit vcca.com. And finally, a huge thank you to the tech team that keeps everything running smoothly and looking and sounding great. I'm so proud of the work they do. Lead engineer Gerardo Rizzoni was also handling donations and video, Zoom management, Jordan Burnick and Alex Glass, website manager Lex Samakis, photo Stephen Macbeth, and backup MC Michael Schweisheimer, who ordinarily helps as an audio engineer. We appreciate you all so very much. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce my friend and an extremely talented performer and composer, Leandro Ragusa, who will be performing for us from Buenos Aires. Leandro Ragusa is a composer, bandoneonist, and music director who's developed his career both in Argentina and abroad, performing as a soloist and with ensembles in many prestigious venues. Leandro is the music director of the tango orchestra of the acclaimed show Souls of Tango. He has an impressive discography and a growing list of commissions. Please do check out his bio on our website. And now let's give our warmest welcome to Leandro Ragusa, performing on bandoneon from his friend's studio in Buenos Aires.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Andrea, again. It's a pleasure for me, being here and playing for you guys and be a part of this amazing salon with all these gifted musicians. And even today we have a lot of two flutists, which is a big pleasure for me, you know why. So I'm not gonna waste more time of my 10 minutes because I really look forward to play my 3 pieces. Are not mine, are only one mine. But I'm gonna jump on the music right away. I'm gonna play 3 pieces, let's say in a sweet way. I say 3 pieces non-stop. So I hope you enjoy it. tema de Cata, my own composition. Now I'm gonna jump in a tango, Soledad, from Carlos Gardel. Now, the last piece, thank you very much. Now, the last piece from Astor Piazzolla. I think I don't have to introduce this piece, it's very known.
Lovely, man. Lovely.
Thank you very much. This last piece was Adios Nonino from Astor Piazzolla. The first one was an own composition called Tema de Cata, and the second one is an arrangement that I made for Carlos Gardel tango called Soledad. And I don't know how I'm about time. I don't know timing. I hope I did well. So thank you very much, everyone, and I keep watching all my colleagues.
Thank you so much, Leandro. That was just beautiful, gorgeous, passionate, expressive, but I didn't expect any less from you. You're amazing, and I'm so happy that you have so many new fans now in this audience. And we hope that you'll come back to Philadelphia. We love you in
I
Philly
really would
as
like
well.
to do it. So see you in Philly.
And you turned this bandoneon into an entire orchestra. I even heard the singers you're playing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You're really a
Thank
master,
you.
and
Thank you.
it's an honor to have you. So if you can stay on, we'd love to chat with you at the end. There might be some audience members who are not as familiar with the bandoneon, so please do stay so that we can talk with you at the end of the evening. Everyone, please consider donating to Leandro and all of the wonderful performers tonight. Every little bit helps, and the link is in the chat. Our next performer holds many distinctions, and one of them, he's gonna laugh that I'm saying this, but he was the youngest composer ever to have performed at my salon. At age 13, he wowed us with his compositions in my old space in Spruce Street. Sheridan Seyfried has gone on to enjoy a thriving career in music, active as a composer, performer, music educator, choir director, concert producer, and arranger. He received his degrees from the Curtis Institute of Music and the Manhattan School of Music. His works have been performed by a long list of illustrious artists. Sheridan will perform a movement from his sonata for solo piano from his home in Oreland, Pennsylvania. Let's give a warm welcome back to Sheridan Seyfried.
Thank you. Thanks, Andrea. Thanks, everybody. It's great to be here. I guess this is my third time doing this online, so I'm getting kind of comfortable with the whole operation. But as Andrea pointed out, I'm a classically trained composer, so that's my educational background. However, I'm not really a classically trained pianist. I kind of wish I was. I do dabble in the classical repertoire to the extent that I can. I'm a professional church musician, so I do play the keyboard a lot, and I arrange and so on. But I grew up, while I was not playing Beethoven sonatas so well, I was also playing New Age music growing up. And many of you might be familiar with artists like David Lanz and George Winston, Philip Aberg. This was like the music of my youth, and I've always been a little bit more at home playing this kind of stuff on the piano, partially because it's generally easier, but also it's a fun style. It's a kind of a contemporary style. A lot of people associate the New Age style with like easy listening, and there is that, but there's also some pretty awesome substantial stuff going on there too. So I didn't do this deliberately, but when I went to write a piece for solo piano, all of a sudden this piano background of mine kind of somehow just came out, I think. So there are many classical things about the piece, and it kind of holds together. Hopefully it holds together in the way that a classical piece does. But you'll hear some of these kind of stylistic elements from more contemporary styles. So I hope you enjoy the piece. That's the first movement of a 3-movement piano sonata. And Gerardo, I'm going to switch my microphone and turn on original sound.
Bravo!
Bravo.
Woo-hoo. What a wonderful mix of genres and styles, and you transition and bridge them so seamlessly. I heard Brahms, I heard popular song, and you found a way to create and make it all your own. There's something in there that reminds me of the Brahms horn trio. I'm not sure why. But
Oh, wow. Okay. I love that piece. Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad that came through.
yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much. I'd love to hear the whole piece. So maybe time you'll play movement too for us.
I'd love to. Thanks, Andrea. And
Thank you
you.
so much, Sheridan. It's a pleasure to have you back. Sheridan Seyfried, everybody. Do check out his links and his bio and those of all the other gifted artists on our website to find out how you can follow and support them. And please consider making a tax-deductible donation to the performers. That link is in the chat. Thanks again, Sheridan.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to welcome two extraordinary musicians who have each performed separately at the Salon. And this, I believe, is their first time performing at the Salon as a duo. New Zealand flutist Tessa Brinckman has been described by critics as a flutist of chameleon-like gifts and virtuoso elegance. She's premiered over 100 new works in the US, South Africa, France, and New Zealand. She's also recorded, composed, and performed in major regional theaters across the United States and internationally. Guitarist Daniel Lippel, called an exciting soloist by the New York Times, has a multifaceted career as a solo performer, chamber musician, collaborator, and recording artist. He's a member of the International Contemporary Ensemble and Counter Induction, and has played as a guest with other ensembles, including the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra, Wet Ink Ensemble, and Ensemble Dal Niente. Dan has given numerous masterclasses in guitar and composition. Tessa and Dan will perform Charlotte Bray's Here's Everything Shines from Tessa Studio in New York City. Join me in welcoming back to the Salon these two fabulous musicians, Tessa Brinckman and Dan Lippel.
So this was originally commissioned by Tom Kirstens for the International Guitar Foundation in 2015, and it was premiered by a duo called Flauguissimo with Yu Wei Hu, the flutist, and Johann Lofting, guitar. And it's based on, largely inspired by a Cesaria Evora song, Petit Pays. So it's sung in the Cabo Verdean Portuguese. And the melody is actually quoted in the flute part, which is intended to be performed as freely as it is when Evora would perform it. And actually, I have a little excerpt of the lyrics here. So here they are, roughly translated from the Portuguese. You're a star in the sky that doesn't shine. At sea, you are sand that doesn't get wet. Spread across the world, only rocks and sea. Poor land full of love. And so this is a very lovely take on Cesaria's piece, and we hope you enjoy.
Sure.
Bravo.
Bravi, both of you, Tessa and Dan. That piece had it had so much in it, and I love the haunting qualities. You know, when it actually kind of thinned out to almost nothing, and you're playing in unison, and then there's just a simple rolled chord, and then coming back into this other more intense section reminded me almost a little bit of the Martin Ballade, the kind of use of the repetitive intervals. Really, really beautiful performance, and not an easy piece, I imagine, to play. Is this work done very often?
I have not heard it before, and I couldn't find it elsewhere either. So I don't think it's being played a lot.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a cool.
Thank you for bringing it to my attention and to all of us. It's wonderful to have you both at the salon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us and seeing everybody. It's lovely to hear everyone play, and just love having you here. It's great.
And the sound is great.
Oh, great.
Good.
It's amazing to me that we can even do this. Really came across just perfectly and clear. And so thank you very much. And we hope you can stay on so we can speak with you a little bit later. I'd love to talk
Thanks so
about
much.
that.
Thank you. Thanks.
Everyone, a reminder that you can make a simple tax deductible donation to support tonight's performers. That link is in the chat and also on our website, zalonarts.org. I'm delighted to present a tremendously talented composer and pianist, Niloufar Nourbakhsh. Described as darkly lyrical by the New York Times, Niloufar Nourbakhsh's music has been performed at numerous festivals and venues, including Carnegie Hall, Lincoln Center, and the Kennedy Center. A founding member and co-director of Iranian Female Composers Association, Niloufar is a strong advocate of music education and equal opportunities. She's also co-artistic director of the Peabody Conservatory Laptop Orchestra. I'd love to hear more about that as well. Please read more about Niloufar and how to follow her work on our program page. She has so much going on, and she's such a strong advocate for Iran, people of Iran and equality. A lot of social consciousness, and you're going to really be amazed by this next piece. I'm going to let Nilu tell you about the art film of her opera aria that she'll present for you tonight, entitled Solitary Confinement. Let's give a very warm welcome to Niloufar, sharing her work with you from her home in New York.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for that very nice welcome. And thank you so much for hosting this event and giving me the opportunity to present. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. So I will share a filmed aria from my opera, We the Innumerable, called Solitary Confinement. And before I share this work, I wanted to talk a little bit about the background of the opera and its connection to the events of what is happening in Iran, especially right now. So many of you might be aware of the situation in Iran. For 2 months now, Iranian people have been demanding freedom, justice, and accountability in the face of horrendous violence from the Islamic Republic regime. Of course, now we're at the point of eruption and really a revolution, but this is not the first time that the Iranian people have raised their voice. In fact, for the past 43 years, there have been many significant historical junctures where people tried to make a change happen and reform the system, and they have been blocked at every step. One of these major efforts were led in 2009 presidential election that turned into the Green Movement. And the story of this opera takes place in 2009 Iran. So the main theme of the opera has to do with the importance of truth and how the protection of a collective memory can lead to the freedom of a nation. This is the second aria from the opera, and it takes place in solitary confinement, as you can tell from the title, where the main character is having an internal dialogue, battling with herself over the right decision. What is the right decision? And gradually the voice of her mother comes through as electronics, as a memory manifested in a Kurdish lullaby. And I also wanted to just share the text for this aria here in the chat. So if you want to check out the text of this aria, you can check that Google Doc. And I will now share this work with you. I hope you enjoy it.
Would they even tell my mother I'm dead? Maybe they already have.
Wow. Wow.
Nilu, I think you moved us all. Thank you so much for that deeply moving work. I've heard this piece several times now, and I cry each time at its sheer beauty and exquisite emotional power of portraying the pain of a people. I love what you said about the importance of the protection of collective memory. And I think you should read the chat because people are writing in with their heartfelt responses to your music. Thank you so
Will
much.
do. Thank you so much. Thanks for letting me share this work. Thank you.
If you can, please stay on with us so that we can talk to you a little bit more. I think I, for one, would like to hear more about the opera.
Definitely will do. Thanks.
Thank you, Nilu. Our next performer has played at the Salon in Philadelphia and has even performed at some of the salons I've hosted in other venues and cities. Tania Stavreva is a multi-award-winning pianist, praised as a Bulgarian-born piano dynamo by Time Out New York. One of the most versatile classical artists of her generation, Tania has received international critical acclaim. Her album Rhythmic Movement reached Billboard Classical Top 10 and won 19 international music awards. You can learn about how to support Tania and follow her work on our artist page. She's going to play 3 of her original works for solo piano from her home studio in New York City. Let's give our love to Tania Stavreva.
Thank you so much, Andrea. You always make me blush so much when you introduced me. I don't want to take too much of my 10 minutes. I will just say a couple of words about these 3 pieces because I rarely play only original music, and especially in front of so many accomplished composers. It's always a challenge, and thank you for this opportunity. So the first piece was written in 2012, and that's the name of the album, Rhythmic Movement. Back then I was exploring the percussive side of piano playing, more rhythm, and I was trying to connect, because it's written in 7/8 for the most part, I was trying to connect a little bit of a rock and roll energy through the Bulgarian rhythm into a classical piano piece. And then the second piece is called Resonating Crystals. I have not performed it a lot. It was written in 2016, and originally it was a collaboration between me and an electronic artist. The electronic artist writes in a downbeat style of electronica, so it's not like a techno or dance, nothing like that. And it's quite closer to Impressionist. And around that time, I also made a lot of friends from the New Age genre, so I was saying, I really want to compose a piece kind of closer to New Age. So that's one side of the style you will hear as the second piece. And the third piece is called A Gift of Light, and that was written right before the pandemic started. And when I composed this piece, I was really trying to connect Impressionism with Expressionism and really kind of create that type of idea of light and positive energy that I wanted to give to people. So I hope you enjoyed those 3. They are very different. They're written during different times of my life. And I will not be speaking between the pieces. I will just play all of them one after the other. Thank you so much.
Brava. Bravo. Brava. I mean, brava.
Brava, Tanya. Oh, it's so lovely to have you. These pieces are like sparkling gems. And, they each they're fully formed, in different sound worlds. The last one reminded me of Debussy's Image, the reflections in the water.
So much. I was trying to get more French there in that piece in general, but I'm
Yeah.
working on something very wild than what you know me for. So next time there will be more energetic type of Tanya. But I thought it would be nice to kind of play a little bit lighter program in terms of the percussiveness.
Well, I love the way that you can move to different moods and characters, and you play that so beautifully. We've missed you, and we hope you can perform for us in Philadelphia next year. I think we were
Thank you
talking
so
about,
much.
right?
I am booked next year and it's in person, so hopefully it's going to be in person for sure. Everything
Yeah.
works.
Well, thank you so much for your mesmerizing music and playing, Tanya.
It's an
We
honor
love
to be
you at
here.
the Salon.
Thank you.
We're moving back to Argentina with an extremely talented singer, actress, voice professor, producer, and ventriloquist. Noelia Moncada is considered to be one of the most distinguished performers of her generation. From the city of Rosario, Argentina, she moved to Buenos Aires at a very young age to find her calling in music, and she found the answer in tango. Noelia will share a new original tango and 2 classical tangos with guitarist Leandro Nikitoff. Join me in welcoming for the very first time to the Zalon, Noelia Moncada and Leandro Nikitoff from Noelia's studio in Buenos Aires.
Hello, hello. Thank you very much. Thank you, Andrea. Vamos a hacer Marioneta. Vamos a cantar un tango que se llama Marioneta. Tenía aquella casa, no sé qué suave encanto, en la belleza humilde del patio colonial, cubierta en el verano por el florido manto que hilaban las glicinas, la parra y el rosal. Si me parece verte la pollerita corta sobre un banco empinadas, las puntas de tus pies, los bucles despeinados y contemplando absorta los títeres que hablaban inglés, ruso y francés. Arriba, doña Rosa, don Pánfilo ligero y aquel titiritero de voz aguardentosa nos daba la función. Tus ojos se extasiaban y aquellas marionetas saltaban y bailaban prendiendo a tu alma inquieta la cálida emoción. Los años de la infancia risueña ya pasaron, camino del olvido los títeres también, piropos y promesas tu oído acariciaron, te fuiste de tu casa, no se supo con quién, allí entre bastidores ridículo y mezquino claudica el decorado sencillo de tu hogar y vos en el proscenio de un frívolo destino sos frágil marioneta que baila sin cesar. Arriba, doña Rosa, don Pánfilo ligero y aquel titiritero de voz aguardentosa no daba la función. Tus ojos se extasiaban y aquellas marionetas saltaban y bailaban, prendiendo a tu alma inquieta la cálida emoción. Muchas gracias. ¿Quieres decir algo?
¿Qué puedo decir? Yo qué sé. Algo que quieras vos.
Bueno, vamos, muchas gracias, estamos muy contentos. ¿Me querés traducir vos?
Dale.
Para bien? De estar participando de este encuentro hermoso que bueno, es algo de las cosas buenas que nos han quedado de la pandemia, ¿no? Y me parece súper rico que podamos encontrarnos artistas de todo el mundo y que sirva, que haya servido para algo, ¿no? Todo esto, todas estas cosas que hemos aprendido en este último tiempo.
Well, she's asking me for some help in English, and you're welcome. Well, she's saying that she's very happy to be here tonight, sharing with many artists around the world, and it's a good thing that left us. The pandemic left this way to communicate with the rest of the world, and well, we are very happy to be here and joining tonight, and we're going to play next tango or vals. Vals. Okay.
Thank you. Él es Leandro Nikitoff, guitarrista maravilloso, además de mi traductor esta noche. Gracias, querido.
You're welcome.
Te compré una tarde, paisaje lejano, el marco dorado y el tema otoñal. Te colgué del muro frente a su retrato que ya no está más. Es tal vez por eso que recién me angustian tu tono velado, tu sombra, tu gris, tu cielo techado de nubes y bruma, tu parque llorando con lluvia de abril. ¿Quién será? ¿Quién será? Que en tu tela pintó la quietud otoñal del pinar y esa luz de olvido y el confín perdido y el camino herido de azul y la soledad. ¿Quién será que una vez te encontró como sos y logró comprender tu color? ¡Qué alma buena! Vio la pena de la nube gris, el camino azul del dolor de abril. Soledad de nadie colgada del muro. Hoy sé que mi vida, lo mismo que vos, es solo un paisaje lejano y oscuro, sin plata de ensueño, sin oro de amor. Somos y lo mismo, con igual destino, garúa borrosa de un día de abril, un nido vacío y un viejo camino y un aire de ausencia muy triste y muy gris. ¿Quién será que en tu tela pintó la quietud otoñal del pinar y esa luz de olvido perdido y el camino herido de azul y la soledad. ¿Quién será que una vez te encontró como sos y logró comprender tu color? ¡Qué alma buena! Vio la pena de la nube gris, del camino azul, del dolor de abril. Muchas gracias. Vamos a hacer por último un tango que se llama Mi Tango Triste, que también casualmente cuando lo he cantado y grabado fue en un contexto de pandemia y también ha sido así por Zoom o en una especie de streaming. Y bueno, estoy con ganas de poder hacer ese tema. ¿Hacemos? Me torturé sin ti, entonces te busqué por los caminos del recuerdo y en el pasado más lejano te agitabas por volver y por librarte de este infierno, y se arrastró hasta mí tu vida sin amor, con su dolor y su silencio, y disfrazamos un pasado que luchaba por querer volver. Y fuiste tú quien alegró mi soledad, quien transformó en locura mi pasión y mi ternura y en horror mis horas mansas. Tú, mi tango triste fuiste tú y nadie existe más que tú en mi destino. Y hoy te has hecho a un lado en mi camino y es muy tarde ya para volver llorando atrás y contener la angustia que por mustia duele mucho más. Se desgarró la luz y enmudeció mi voz aquella noche sin palabras, y al ver que tu alma estaba ausente y a tu lado siempre yo como una cosa abandonada, y se arrastró hasta ti la sombra de otro amor y de otra voz que te llamaba, y me sumiste en un pasado que luchaba por querer volver. Y fuiste tú la que alegró mi soledad, quien transformó en locura mi pasión y mi ternura y en horror mis horas mansas. Tú, mi tango triste fuiste tú y nadie existe más que tú en mi destino. Y hoy te has hecho a un lado en mi camino y es muy tarde ya para volver llorando atrás y contener la angustia que por mustia duele mucho más.
Bravo.
Gracias.
Beautiful. Thank you. Bellissima.
Muchas gracias. Muchas
Wow.
gracias. Muchas gracias.
Noelia and Leandro, such gorgeous singing and playing, and it was subtle and expressive and intimate and passionate. Gerardo wrote in the chat, your friend Gerardo said you were singing the essence of tango, Noelia. And what beautiful guitar playing, Leandro. Thank you
Muchas
both
gracias.
so very much.
Thank you very much
Thank you.
for your kind words. Thank you very much.
You have 85 new fans now. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, come to Philadelphia and perform for us in my home next time.
Sí, sí,
Yeah.
claro que sí.
Whenever we can.
Gracias. Please
Muchas
do
gracias.
stay if you can, so we can speak with you at the very end. Everyone, do check the
Maravilloso.
art page on our website to learn more about these performers and how you can support and follow their work. Thank you again, Noelia.
Thank you.
and
Thank you very much, Andrea.
I'm honored to present all of these amazing artists. However, it's a very special privilege to present the next composer, artist, someone who has served as an important role model, mentor, and teacher to me. Distinguished composer and educator Maurice Wright is my composition professor and dissertation advisor in graduate school while I was pursuing my doctorate at Temple University. It's my deep honor to welcome Maurice to the Salon for the first time. At an early age, Maurice Wright began to study piano, compose, play the trombone, and experiment with electricity using parts from discarded telephones. After graduating from Duke University, he received a doctorate at Columbia University, and outstanding musicians have performed his works, including the Philadelphia Orchestra, Boston Symphony, Emerson String Quartet, and the American Brass Quartet. Maurice is the Laura H. Carnell Professor of Music Studies at Temple University. He will present his work, Phoenix, for flute, computer sound, and projected video from his studio in Wyncote, Pennsylvania. Join me in giving a special warm welcome to Maurice Wright.
Thank you. Thank you all. It's a lot of fun to be part of this really interesting and varied program. And I'm really happy to be able to tell you a little bit about the piece I wrote during the pandemic called Phoenix for my good friend and wonderful flute player, Chelsea Meinig. The pandemic, for most all of us, I think, was like a great black cloud that just descended and wouldn't go away. And musicians had their hopes and dreams dashed day after day after day. And frankly, a lot of us were grasping at straws, looking for anything we could do that would continue on a kind of musical life. A group in New York of wonderful people decided to host a concert series on the internet that was going to be called The Masked Musician, or Music for Masked Musicians. The idea was that people could play socially distanced, maybe with a mask or whatever. And of course, you can't play the flute with a mask, so we took a different tack on it. It was the idea of the mask as the veil that kind of cloaks the identity and makes the meaning mysterious, and use that as the basis for a piece. So Chelsea and I would Zoom every 2 weeks or so, and I would record the conversations, and so you'll hear little bits of her voice in the computer part, as well as flute key clicks, which I turned into kind of long sustained sounds at the very end. The way we did it was that I wrote the piece on paper, and there is computer sound, which I realized as I went along. And when all of that was done, I sent it to her for comments. And then she came over and recorded the piece, an audio recording. I edited that recording and then worked on a computer graphic that's based on the computer sound, plus a feather effect at the end that you'll see. The video is projected onto the flute player. So she came back then and we recorded the video portion of the piece, lip syncing. If it had been singing, I guess it was flute syncing, to the piece that we'd recorded earlier. edited that all together, and that's what you'll see tonight. It's a kind of short, around 5 minutes, but very, in terms of tiny details, a pretty busy piece. And I've been told that it sounds fine on headphones, so if you were trying to decide whether or not to keep your headphones on, probably do that. A program note, the soloist reacting to a terrible series of events wants the world to begin new and have a fresh start. To this end, she serenades the spirit of the phoenix, thinking that if the phoenix would rise, it would mark the end of the time of suffering. At first, the phoenix shuns her, even ridiculing her from its resting place, but the bird is affected and welcomes her into the underground chamber. You'll hear echo for the underground chamber. Emboldened, the soloist insistently implores the phoenix, who emits a beautiful shriek and rises on the morning breeze. Sadly, the phoenix takes the youth spirit from the soloist, who remains on the earth wiser for her sacrifice. And so the pandemic cloud is kind of lifted, and we kind of are back, but we kind of aren't. Everybody's lost something. And in some ways, this piece is dedicated to that loss of humanity. Thank you, Andrea. And I just want to say that thank you, thank you, thank you. It's great to be part of the salons. I've been to them so long ago that we both forgotten when, but it was when people's shoes were stolen sometimes from the stairs. But I will tell you, any of you that wonder if it's a good idea to be a university teacher, I tell you to have a student like Andrea Clearfield gets you past a lot of things. She's really wonderful to work with, and I'm delighted to be part of the concert tonight. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Maurice, Dr. Wright. And, you know, people are interested, I think, in this mysterious world that you've created with this piece. And for me personally, it was such an evocative dance between the flute and electronics. And there was something that was both personal and epic in it. You know, somehow at the end, it just became this, you know, this epic journey. And of course, that's what it was for all of us in the past few years. So thank you for capturing that in such a unique way. And the performance by Chelsea Meinig, is that her name? Meinig? Yeah, Meinig is extraordinary. Maybe we'll have a chance to speak with her. Thank you so much, Maurice. An honor. And if you can stay on, we'd love to talk with you more.
For sure. It's not nearly as late here as where you are, so sure.
It's just turned 3 a.m. Yeah. Everyone, please do read more about Maurice Wright and his work and the other artists on our program page. That link is in the chat, and consider making a simple tax-deductible donation to these terrific musicians. And now I'm pleased to welcome back another outstanding flutist and strong champion of contemporary music, Lindsey Goodman. Lindsey is principal flutist of West Virginia Symphony Orchestra, adjunct lecturer of flute at Marietta College, Ashland University, and Glenville State University, artist faculty member of the Mostly Modern Festival, and solo flutist of the new music ensemble, What is Noise? I'm going to turn things over to Lindsey, who's going to tell you a little bit more about the 2 solos that she will play. But first, let's give a hearty welcome back to Lindsey Goodman, performing for us from her home in Pickerington, Ohio. Lindsey.
Good evening, everyone. And it is such a pleasure to be back sharing music with this very special Zalon community. I'm going to share 2 works for solo flute with you tonight, starting with Bruce Babcock's Soliloquy. Bruce is a Los Angeles-based composer with many compositional credits in film and television. He's an Emmy winner and an Emmy nominee, and his concert works have been heard across the world. His Soliloquy was composed in 1977 for none other than Sir James Galway, who never played it. And Galway's loss was the flute world's gain, as it's now Bruce's most performed work, with the flutist taking on a musical acting role through a conversation that's alternatively spirited and reflective. You can hear this work on my solo album Aterio from Parma Recordings. This is Bruce Babcock's evocative Soliloquy. Next up, I would love to share a piece by Swiss composer Arthur Honegger, who was a member of the famed French Les Six group of composers during the first half of the 20th century. I programmed this especially for our hostess's location this evening. His Danse de la Chèvre was written in 1912 as incidental music with dancer, and it tells the programmatic story of a dancing goat. I like to think of it as a very anthropomorphic animal acting out its life cycle from his birth with an opening tritone through a dance motif that whirls him through the many stages of life to his final release into the ether in the form of a harmonic. Thank you to Andrea, thank you to the tech crew, thank you to everyone in the Zalon community for welcoming me graciously as a return performer. And please enjoy Honegger's Danse de la Chèvre.
So beautiful, Lindsey. You have such a clarity and an elegance, and you put your whole being into everything that you play. I loved the goat was so sprightly. Just beautiful, beautiful playing.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
And I also appreciate the way that you speak. You give us important snippets so that you create sort of a window for us into each one of the pieces.
Learning
Thank
from
you.
the best.
Thank you. Thank you. Just beautiful. Wonderful to have you back. So we'd love to chat with you about your music later if you're able, and do check the chat for your fans who are writing in now. I know you have to leave early, so hopefully we can speak
Here
with
for
you.
part of the Q&A.
Great. Thanks again, Lindsey Goodman. Everyone, please check out Lindsey's links and her more extensive bio on our website, and consider making a tax-deductible contribution to Lindsey and all the performers. That link is in the chat. We have 2 more performances for you this evening, followed by our virtual toast. And don't forget to have your drink of choice ready for the toast. It warms my heart to welcome back my dear friends from Anchorage, Alaska, singer-songwriters Tom Begich and Sarah Sledge. Tom and Sarah are beloved in our community. They even schedule their music tours around the Salon in Philadelphia. When Tom Begich and Sarah Sledge aren't working, he, as an Alaska state senator, and she, as the head of an education nonprofit, they're on tour performing their original music around the country. Tom has released 5 solo CDs, a compilation music and poetry CD, and has published a book of sonnets. Tom and Sarah are working on their newest music project to be released next fall. Join me in welcoming them from their home in Anchorage, Alaska, Tom Begich and Sarah Sledge.
Thank you. Thank you. Andrea, thank you. We're going to play for you 3 songs, 2 of which you haven't heard and 1 which we've played before, all 3 of which are going to be on the new project. So we're going to just jump right into it. Usually we talk a little bit more, but it's raining here in Alaska, so we're just going to focus on the music. There was a time when I saw the world like a story I tell. Mountain I'd climb, reaching so high to see a world without ending. Where have they gone, these days and these hours that I thought would last forever? They flow on and on with the quiet grace of the slow-moving river, all the way to the sea and so far beyond, where I find I can breathe again. This life can be clear as each breath that's drawn. Will you come with me now on this next journey home, where we're bound to no one but each other's whim and each other's love, until this journey's done. Where will we go, all these miles and these roads that we long to travel? And who will we know as we watch every path we follow unfold and unravel, all the way to the sea and so far beyond, where saw the world like a story I tell to a friend. But like all good lives and the stories we tell, well, they come to an ending. That's a new song called There Was a Time, about transitions and how we move from one thing to the next. This next one is a song by Sarah.
These are all pandemic songs. They were either finished or started during the pandemic. This is just a lighthearted love song called Where Do You Go? The sun comes up, the sun goes down. Ain't much happening in this old town till you came around. Your smile warms up this cold, cold heart. It makes me think it's time for a brand new start. It feels like you have a secret I really need to know. So take my hand and show me where you go. Where do you go? To rest your weary head, to lift your spirits up and keep you fed. And where do you run when the nights get cold? And when the lights go down, who do you hold? Where is the place that you call home? You're next to me, your heart with mine. Feels like it's been this way for a long, long time. For all time. I can't explain why it feels so right, but I'm here for the ride and I'm gonna hold on tight. It feels like you have a secret I really need to know. So take my hand and show me where you go. Where do you run to rest your weary head, to lift your spirits up and keep you fed? And where do you run when the nights get cold? And when the lights go down, who do you hold? Where is the place that you call home? Oh, I wanna be the place that you call home.
This last piece we're going to play is a piece that I began many years ago for Sarah. Played it for you last year. We want to play it one more time just because we love it. This is called Wonder. And Andrea, thank you so much for coming all the way from France and letting us all be part of your life as well as letting others be part of ours. So thank you for that and for the salon. Wait this day now, where the moon shines on the water, reflecting on us as that moon reflects on me. And I can't say now how we ever found our way here, being next to you, all I see fills me with wonder. I'm here now with you, so filled with wonder. When the wind is rising, I watch it bring over the water, sending waves crashing down against the shore. I never ever seen emotion look as wild as you do now. Both a tempest and a tempered hand resting on my brow. How it fills me with wonder. I'm here now with you, so filled with wonder. Us two. So hold me still in the quiet of this evening. Night moves to morning, and I take your hand. And I will love you as we hold on to each other till time itself wears away, turning stone to sand. How it fills me with wonder. And I'm here now with you, so filled with wonder. Fills me with wonder. And I'm here now with you, so filled with wonder. Us two. Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you, everybody.
Beautiful.
Wow. You have fans all over the world, and so very grateful that you made time for us, and for all of the years that you have performed in Philadelphia. It's really just so beautiful to have you as an integral part of our community, and for those beautiful songs reminding us of wonder in this life at times when we really need that magic. Thank you, Tom and Sarah. And thank you for your energy and your presence. We love having you at the salon.
I love being here. Thank you.
Everyone, check out the ways you can purchase Tom and Sarah's music and Tom's poetry at the link in the chat. And before I present the last performer, please have your drink of choice ready for our traditional toast at the end of the salon. And now it's my great pleasure to welcome back our friend and a seminal source in the New York songwriting community, Bert Lee. Bert has composed for and performed with groups as varied as the legendary Central Park Sheiks and Raphael Mastel's Tibetan Singing Bowl Ensemble. Performing from his home in Gravesend, Brooklyn, Bert will present two tunes from his cowboy-inspired music entitled Butterfly, Songs of the Haunted Prairie. Let's give our love to Bert Lee.
Thank you so much, Andrea. It's so nice to be here. Even though it's not in person, that'll happen eventually again. I know it will. As she said, these are two songs from my cycle of cowboy songs. There's about 12 songs in the cycle, and I'm currently preparing a presentation of those. So I do these songs an awful lot when I'm performing out in the outside world. The first tune is called Butterfly. It is the eponomic, is that the correct word, a song of the collection. And it's the song about a cowboy and his beloved horse and what becomes of them, joined as they are at heart. And the second is the Ballad of Calamity Jane. And I do hope you enjoy these two songs of mine. I have a little pony with star drops in her eyes. Her coat is black as Chinese silk and I call her Butterfly. I ride her in the valley where the river water's sweet. She drinks it like a lady and she prances with her feet. The eagle on the wings chasing circles in the sand. And a man cries out for water who's got diamonds in his hand. Her mane flies out like fire when she's running with the wind. I know she'll never throw me 'cause that pony is my friend. I started out in Dallas since that's where I was raised. Took up a life of gambling and all my luck be praised. Went out to California where the streets were paved with mud. I bought a pair of pistols and I learned to thrive on blood. I shot a man in anger over something that he said, but I had to give up gambling when the gold turned into lead. Now I left all that behind me and I'm running with the wind. I know they'll never find me, that pony is my friend. Well, I was heading out from Reno, but the desert got too big. I lost all my provisions and all my water dried. My pretty little pony fell down and totally. Sent her to her maker and I laid down by her side. The buzzard on the wing is tracing circles in the sand. A man cries out for water who's got diamonds in his hand. Now I've come to higher ground where the river's just begun, and I climb up on the mountaintop and watch my pony run. I have a little pony with star drops in her eyes. Her coat is black as Chinese silk and a saddle she denies. I ride her in the valley where the river water's sweet. She drinks it up like champagne wine and prances with her feet. I ride her in a hilly land where the river's just begun, and I stand upon the mountaintop and watch my pony run. Calamity Jane comes down from the hills like the thunder and rain. A 6-gun goddess, 5 bullets shy. No one can tell if her life is a lie. Comes down from the hills like the wild night wind. Everybody knows her, but she hasn't got a friend. She's got a room upstairs at the Deadwood Bar. Dime novel hero and a rodeo star. She shoots down dreams like bottles on a shelf, standing at the mirror and talking to herself. Jane, Jane, Calamity Jane, who can believe and who can explain if her life is a legend or the legend is a lie? She shoots her pistol at the stars in the sky. Shoots her pistol at the stars in the sky. She rode with General Crook at Rosebud Hill. She shot like the devil, but she never made a kill. There's no need to kill him when the hard times will. She rode in the circus just to give them a thrill, standing in the saddle and never took a spill, but they only came to see old Buffalo Bill. Jane, Jane, tall as a crane, lying in bed with a fever in her brain, trying to sort out all the things she did from the things she didn't and the things she hid. What is the truth and what is the lie? She shoots her pistol at the stars in the sky. Shoots her pistol at the stars in the sky.
Awesome. Great job.
Thank you for your kind attentions, and thank you so much, Andrea, for providing me this much needed outlet in my life. God bless you all for being a great audience, and I can't wait to stand in front of you in persona sometime in the not terribly distant future. And I'll stick around and toast with you all. See you soon.
That sounds great. Thank you so much, Bert, for sharing your songs. You always take us to these far reaches of the imagination, and tonight is no exception. It's been great to present you over the years, and a special thanks to Ellen Mandel, who introduced us some years ago. I want to thank all the performers for this beautiful and globally connected evening of music, and the incredible Salon team. Let's unmute our microphones and show our appreciation to tonight's team. Zoom audio engineers Gerardo Rosomni, Alex Glass, and Jordan Bernick. Photo Stephen Macbeth, website Lex Samakis, backup MC Michael Schweisheimer. I guess we really need to hear from you tonight, but that's actually good. The internet held out. Let's give them all a big round of applause. You know, they take this Zoom platform, which is a conference center, essentially, and turn it into a stage, and you wouldn't know it, right? I mean, the sound is amazing, and I'm constantly wowed by what they do, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes, so thank you to the tech team. If you'd like to be on the Salon invitation list where you'll receive the dates, links, and programs, please write to me on my website, AndreaClearfield.com. The next salon will be the Holiday Salon on December 11th in my home and streamed in and out. Before our customary virtual toast, let's give our love to all the performers with one more round of applause. And shall we lift our glasses for our traditional salon toast to art, to community, à votre santé. Cheers, salut, peace.